Financial Intelligence Moment.
This is Financial Intelligence Moment. The difference between the rich and the poor is knowledge. Financial Intelligence Moment is designed to expose some of the financial mistakes that has kept the poor poorer. The poor desires financial security, while the rich takes risk with financial intelligence to achieve financial freedom. The poor in most cases has just one means of income, while the rich has multiple streams of income. The question is, do you spend more than you earn?
This is Financial Intelligence Moment.
All right, so today we'll be talking about financial literacy for men, why we need financial literacy, what are the benefits, how is it going to affect our life, how is it going to affect our finances, our family, everything we do. That's basically what I'm going to be sharing with you today. What I'll be sharing, or what it's born out of lessons from my mentor. I started off this journey far back as 2006, 2000. I became serious with my financial destiny from 2008, and I have, by the grace of God, I have grown. I'm not yet where I want to be, but I'm very far from where I used to be, and everything I do today, I do it because I just love doing it. God has taken me from point A to point B, and so the lessons I learned over the years, mistakes I made, gave birth to a whole lot of things I'll be sharing with you this moment. My name is Charles. They call me the FBI coach. FBI stands for Financial and Business Intelligence. I tell people what I do is to delete what they know about money and reinstall a new money thinking system in them. I teach people how to monetize their knowledge, how to monetize their skill. I teach people how to monetize their expertise, their certificate. I teach people how to grow influence and move from where they are to where they want to be. You know, I have conducted trainings with multinationals, oil servicing companies around the globe. My first international training was in Tunisia. Someone contacted me from Facebook, you know, because I believe in consistency. That's how my mentor trained me. He made me to understand, if you want to achieve anything in life, you need to be consistent. And this guy said he's been following me for the past 15 or 12 years. I have never changed the things I say, that he think I'm the best person to handle their company training. And that was how I was on that trip. Meanwhile, before then, this guy was in a training I conducted in a city in Nigeria. So when we met there, and the guy said, I know you, I've been following you on Facebook. So that's how we reconnected and all that. So I help people get out of their comfort zone. Let me put it that way. Now, what are we going to be talking about? Financial literacy. It's simply how to make smart decisions with money. If you notice, I underlined the smart. In other words, the way it goes with SWOT analysis, you also apply that when it comes to your money. You know, you need to when it comes to SWOT analysis, we say that your goal must be specific, your goal must be measurable, your goal must be achievable, it must be realistic, and it must be time bound. The same happens with your financial life. You must be specific. How much do you want to make? We're in the first quarter of 2024. You ask yourself, this is the first battle, because in a year we have 4 battles. This is the first battle. How am I going to win this battle? How much do I want to make this first quarter? You must be specific. And I tell people, break your quarters into 90-day sprints. When you have 90 days sprint, it makes it a lot easier to manage. It makes it a lot easier for you to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay. Then you must your money making decisions must be measurable. I want to make £20,000 this month of February, minimum. Now, how do I measure if I have made that £20,000? You divide the £20,000 by the number of days we have in February, which is 29, because this is leap year, 29. And so that £20,000, how much will I make every day? You know the exact amount of money that should come into your hand every day. That's been measurable. Then it must be achievable. Don't set goals you know that it's way out of boundary. You know, it's way out of your yardstick. Let me use that word. Then your financial goals must also be realistic. I mean, I cannot just wake up and say I want to make £5 billion this month. It's unrealistic because I don't have the requisite indices. I don't have the requisite tools that can generate that £5 million. It's unrealistic. So I tell people, whatever goal you set last year, add another zero to it. If you want to stretch yourself further, add 2 zeros to the number. It gives you a realistic figure you want to work with. Then it must be time bound. You cannot just say, I want to make £5 million this year. When this year? What time of the day do you want to make that money? So you need to be specific. That's why I underline that SMART, taking smart financial decisions. That is what it's all about. Now, number one, for you to take smart financial decisions, number one, you must decide to become wealthy. I've come across a lot of people who say they want to be wealthy, who say, I want to make a lot of money this year, but they have not taken that quality decision. You must decide. And one of the ways to decide is to set an audacious goals. You must challenge yourself. You shouldn't go for the less. You shouldn't swing like a simple pendulum, swinging left and right. That is neither here nor there. You must be specific. I want to make XYZ amount. You need to challenge yourself. You know, I've come across some persons who say to me, Charles, I'm because of the nature of my job, my timing is not fixed. I work. Sometimes I work day shift. Sometimes I work night shift. Sometimes I work all day, and the amount I make in a month is not stable, is not static. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it comes down. That is on your paid employment. When I tell people to set financial goals, it's not just about your paid employment. You must have a side business. You must have something on the side you do. And a young guy came to me and said, Charles, my work is very stressful. When I get off my shift, the only thing I think of is just to go home and sleep. I said to him, your mindset told you that you are exhausted. Have you ever seen a woman who got into the house? She's so tired and she's just about to sit. Okay, she sat on her couch, but before then, she decided to place a kettle of water on fire. The water was boiling, but she was tired to get off that place to turn it off. And suddenly she saw her toddler, her 3-year-old, walking towards the kettle, the boiling water, to stretch his hand to grab the kettle. That woman will suddenly get up from that place and run towards the child and grab that child. Now, the question is, where did that energy came from? Suddenly, the tiredness, the weakness is gone. You know what? It started from the mind. It depends on what is pursuing you. A man who is being pursued by a chicken can run carelessly, can run in a very lackadaisical way. But a man who is pursued by a lion, you every fiber of your being, everything that, as a matter of fact, you will even step into fire without noticing you actually passed through fire. And that is the kind of mindset you will have. So after speaking to the guy, he left and went home. From that day, he changed a lot of things about himself. I said, look, when you want to start making money as a side business, start from the known before you move to the unknown. In other words, start with what you have. If you are in the health sector and you want to start making money as a side business, there are a lot of things you can talk about online. As a matter of fact, the best place to start is from the digital world. You can create ebooks. You can come up with short courses. You can start giving values in that direction, and you'll see people will start tilting to you. If you are in the what is it called? If you are in the digital world, you can start making money from there. Any sector you find yourself, you are in the financial world, maybe you are an accountant, or you work in a banking industry, you work in a hedge fund company and all that. There is something you can start doing, starting with what you know. Start from the known before you move to the unknown. So the first thing you need to do is, if you want to change your financial life, is to decide to become wealthy. You need to kill every form of excuses. I say to people, excuses are tools of the incompetence. They are monument of nothingness. And the only people who use it are fools. Then when you decide to become wealthy, you need to decide the problem you want to solve. I have already spoken a little about this. Start with the known. What value will I bring to the marketplace? Whose problem will I solve? In my house, I have something written somewhere on a wall where we have our vision board. I wrote it boldly there. Whose problem do we want to solve? So every day, my children, they already have that mantra that for you to make money, you need to solve problems. You need to create value. You need to become value dispenser. Just like we have a fountain, we have a water dispenser where people go to drink. The same way goes with value. You need to become value dispenser. And you're asking yourself, how? Let's start with the how. How do I make money? So the question of how means you are probing. You sit on your couch, you spend minimum of an hour, 2 hours, write whatever idea that comes to your mind, you put it down on a paper. How do I want to make money? How? You put it on a paper. You are probing. You are asking deep questions. You see, the first 7 answers or the first 10 answers might not mean anything to you. But guess what? If you stretch yourself further from the 11th answers you're putting down, that is when the real deal will start coming on paper. Okay? So when you sit down, you start writing, I want to make money from this. Start with the things you know. Even if it doesn't make sense, just put it down on a paper. Later, you can go back and sort them based on priorities. And after sorting them based on priorities, you can now sort them based on importance. So you ask yourself, how do I want to make money? The next question is what? What service or product can I sell to make money? What product can I bring to my community? What product can I bring to my world to make money? At this point, you're talking about value. What value can I bring to the marketplace? I have never seen a wealthy man who doesn't provide value. I have never seen, talk about Elon Musk, talk about Jeff Bezos, talk about Oprah Winfrey, Aliko Dangote, Otedola, talk about, anybody around the world you know that is wealthy today is solving a problem. What product or service can I sell to make money? Then you ask the why. Why will people buy from me? At this point, you are talking about conviction. You are trying to convince yourself that you have what it takes for people to make money, or you have what it takes to make money. You are convincing yourself. See, when the why is big enough, the how will show. Remember, we started with the how. If your why, you have been able to convince yourself very well that you need to make money, how you want to make that money will show. Then you move to where. Where do I find those who will need this offer? Where do I find those? Where do I find those who will need this product or this service I want to sell? At this point, you're talking about location. And the first place you should start looking for these people is online. Make most of the social media platforms. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on Google Space, on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, on Twitter. You can find them. You can find them even within your community, on your WhatsApp. Then you talk about when. When do I launch out? When do I start? When do I expand my business? When do I start making this money? At this point, you are considering timing. You are looking at the time. Is it the right time to launch out? But before you launch out, you need to ask yourself, who needs this product or service I want to offer? At the who stage, you are considering the customer avatar. One of the challenges I have noticed with people is that they quickly bring their product into the market before finding the market for it. The first thing you need to do is to find the market. If you have not found the market, don't launch the product. So you have asked yourself these questions, these 6 questions. Then you go back to how. By the time you're getting back to how, you will discover that the questions will become a lot clearer, because you need to find the who before you sell the how. All right. Then you move to number 3. You need to decide your financial vehicle. Having discovered what you want to sell, you need to find the vehicle you need to achieve this financial freedom. Some people are trekking. Some people are trekking on their journey to financial freedom. How do I mean? If you are above 35, you should not save 20% of your income. It is an error, because time is no longer on your side. And it's even worse if you are from 40 and above. You should strive to save 40 minimum. And someone said to me, Charles, if I save 40, that means I don't have anything left. Look, one of the things putting aside 40% of your income will do for you is that ideas will come up. Your reticular activating system, which is your RAS, will wake up and start looking for ways to make additional income. You start asking yourself, what else can I do? I know that this 60% cannot take me anywhere. This 60% cannot solve my problems. This 60% cannot even pay the rent, pay the bills. I need other sources of income. I need to put aside minimum of 40%, because each and every one of us in this room, in the next 30 years, you will be either 60, 70, or 80 years old. Everybody in this room, if not 90. Is anybody above 60 here? All right, so at every point in time, add 30 years to your life. Add 30 years. If you have a child below 10 years, you will be free. That child will be free. You'll be free from that child in the next 25 years. So you see why I said you should add 30 years to your life. And that is the more reason why you should stop saving or putting aside less than 30% of whatever you make. Some people are trekking. Some people are on their journey to financial freedom with bicycle. The man who is trekking might get there. He might not get there. The same goes with a man on bicycle. It's going to take him donkey years to get to his destination. Some persons are on power bike. It's a great way to soar, but it's not fully comfortable, because as this man is riding, after some time, he would want to take some rest. Some persons are on power speed cars. Twinkle of an eye, they are where they want to be. Some persons are using private jets. Of course, you know, the man that is going to a specific place with private jet will get there faster than any other person. And the mindset I want you to have is the mindset of a private jet owner. You get to your destination very fast. And that also means you should avoid shiny objects. Whatever platform that will ask you to invest $1 here and make $50 tomorrow, you should be wary of such investments, because the question is, that's $49 the person is giving you, where did he or she get it from? Then when you have decided your wealth vehicle, you need to start exploring different wealth creation engines. How do I want to make this money? Okay, I earn salary. How do I want to start growing the money I have, so that tomorrow they can get bigger? There are so many ways. Number one, you can start with mutual funds. Mutual fund is really good. I've invested in mutual funds since 2015 or 2014. I've been investing in mutual fund. It's a very good way to keep your money. It's a very good investment vehicle. You know, it's like the pool of money from multiple investors, you know, which is shared amongst that is, the profit is shared amongst the investors, because those who pull this money together invested in equities, they invest in bonds, in money markets, in different financial instruments and other securities, and they give you reward. And it's easy to cash out from mutual fund. You can easily liquidate your money. It's a low risk investment platform. At least you know your money is safe. Then we have bonds. Bonds is when government and corporations, you know, they issue bonds to raise money. When you purchase a bond, you are essentially lending your money to the issuer. You are lending your money to the government or to the corporate body, and they promise to repay you with a face value, okay, that comes periodically. They pay you with interest. You know, sometimes they pay you, you earn it twice in a year. It's called bonds. Then we also have stocks. Stock is when you have a share ownership of a company. One of the best ways to buy stock is to buy in the things people use daily. That's the best way my mentor taught me how to invest in stocks. Number one, he said, Charles, you own HP laptop. Do you have HP shares? I was taken aback that day. He said, do you drink Coca-Cola, don't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, do you have Coca-Cola shares? I was shocked. I never thought about it. So today we have Netflix. So many homes use Netflix. Do you have Netflix shares? Even if it's just one share, even if it's just 10% you own. We use Zoom. How many of us have Zoom shares? When he spoke to me about this thing, I started investing in the stocks people use daily. You can hardly find me buying certain stock of markets that is just okay because this market is somewhere and they said it's the shares is quite good and all. I don't invest in that. I invest in S&P 500, the best 500 companies in the United States. I invest in S&P 100. I invest in a whole lot of companies. We use their products today. I have a little here, little here, little here. At the end of the year, you will be amazed how much you are making. I invest in telecommunication companies. Back in my country, Nigeria, I invested in a telecommunication company, a particular company, MTN, and these shares made, excuse my language, bastard money. It's I mean, there are, so if you want to invest in stocks, buy the stocks people use often. And for those in the UK, in Canada, or you live in America or in other European countries, you can use, there are a few companies you can leverage on to buy your shares, because I've had people ask me these questions often. So which broker can I use? There are quite a few of them. Okay, you can use Alpari. I'll still drop them in the chat. We can use Alpari for those of you in America, UK, Canada, and other European countries. You can use Alpari. You can use Fidelity. You can use TradeStation and Revolut. These are the companies I use: Alpari, Fidelity, TradeStation, and Revolut. Then for those in other African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, and all that, you can use Bamboo, you can use Cheaper Cash, or you can use Kuda. These brokers are good. They are sincere. They don't play gimmicks. What is due to you, you get it at the appointed time. Then you can also invest in real estate. This is where a lot of people miss it, most especially those in the Western world. I've seen people who live in houses ordinarily they can't afford, but because they want to show off, they want to keep up with the Joneses, they pick up, or they live in houses they ought not to live in. Your annual rent should not be more than 20% of your gross income. Your annual rent should not be more than. So if, for example, you are earning £10,000 per annum, your annual rent should not be more than £2,000. If it is more than £2,000, it's an error. So this is what I tell people. First, you need to deal with pride. You need to move out of that place, because the reason why you are struggling financially is because of the things that are eating up your seed. A wise farmer, first of all, keep choice seeds for the next farming season. Immediately he harvests before he starts selling. So we need to be like the wise farmer who decided to keep choice seeds as he harvested his crops. And one of the ways is to reduce our expense. So somebody said to me, I live in my house. I pay mortgage. What do? I said to him, there are ways you can do it. Number one, find out the value of rental apartment within that environment. Go to another environment, compare the prices. This is what one of my guys did when we spoke recently. He moved out of his house. He lives in a 3-bedroom flat. So what he did was he moved out of the house. He rented a 2-bedroom flat in a less I'm trying to use the right word. in a place, in an environment that is, he pays a lot lesser than what his house costs. So he rented out his house, not to one person, but he rented it out as different rooms to 3 different persons. And he was able to make money that takes care of his rent and at the same time takes care of the mortgage. So that headache is taken off his head. Now, the money he's using for the mortgage, he has always been paying for the mortgage. He decided to divert that same money into an investment, because when this happens, we just see ourselves increasing our expense. At that time, okay, if I was spending £2,000 every month, I want to increase to £2,500 because I have extra money. That extra money should compel you to increase your financial freedom vehicle. So maybe I have always been moving with a power bike. This time around, I want to stretch myself to move with a private jet. You stretch yourself. Then if you have access to buying a piece of land, you can buy it. You can buy a plantation. You can invest. There are so many places you can invest into that will keep generating money. So the goal is not to be successful, but to remain successful. You sleep, wake up richer than you slept. Another place you can invest your money is the Forex trading. These apps I talked about, that you can also trade Forex with them. I used to trade Forex, okay, but I have not been trading recently. I decided to start learning how to trade again, because what I was doing previously was what I call, or what is called, scalping, and that's not a good way to trade Forex. Okay, so recently I started learning again. Okay, let me see how I can program my time. It hasn't been easy. For the past 2 weeks, I've had back-to-back trainings with some companies. I haven't even opened my Forex platform to see what's going on there, but it's part of my goal for the year. I told myself, no matter what happens, I will need to get back to this business. It's high risk, okay, very, very high risk, but then you still need to delve into it and make more money. Another way is to set up an online shop. You need to have a system where money comes into your hand. No matter how small it might be, money should start coming into your hand. A lady went through my signature course. I run trainings for companies. I run training for individuals. I teach people how to monetize their skill. As a matter of fact, this lady, she doesn't have any skill. She doesn't know what to do, how to start making money. So I took her through processes of identifying her knowledge well, and today she's making a lot of money. What she was doing before, she was sewing clothes, so she thought she was going to expand in the fashion and designing industry. But by the time she went through my course, she discovered that her gift lies in teaching couples sex education, and she's making a lot of money from it. So you can sit down and ask yourself, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what questions do people usually come to me for? What solutions? What solutions do people ask me for? What are those questions? Put them together. Your way of making money might be from that angle. So set up a digital shop. COVID was terrible, but at the same time, it was a blessing to so many persons. The online platform has always been in existence, but COVID brought it to fore. COVID made it louder than it used to be. Okay, so find a way to make money from the digital world. It's very important. All right, this is where we're going to wrap it up for today. Join me again next week as we continue on Financial Intelligence Moment. We'll still be talking about financial literacy. Do have a wonderful day.
This is Financial Intelligence Moment.
Until next week, Manage your expenses, increase your income, and keep working towards financial freedom.